with a little morning ice for you in the creeks with Tommy C. Nice stumble. God, that's a good start. Right then on Dave.
Absolutely,
yeah,
buddy.
That's all right. Well, let's go over Wednesday's game, the start of the National Hockey League season. Wednesday, October 8th, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Montreal at Toronto, old school rivalry. And, of course, dead on Dave's prediction. We'll get into that in a minute. I should have opened with that, come to think of it. Philadelphia at Boston for Wednesday night rivalry. We'll talk about that lock of the week in a second. And at 10 p.m. Eastern, Vancouver and Calgary. And, of course, let the ass-kicking begin. The Los Angeles begin to count the San Jose Sharks at 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. All that and more coming up. Morning Ice, bitches. Yeah.
You're so fucking nice! You're looking
It's not our head in unison, yeah. That's right, and my favorite point man in the whole wide world, the original of original, none other than Chicago, dead on, David.
What's up, buddy?
We're almost there. We almost started, brother.
Woo!
We're ready to go and then some.
My blood's getting colder. It's getting colder.
We're going to be talking about, it's getting colder out. I could, you can kind of smell it in the air with the fall. Even here in Germany, I got a good whiff of it yesterday. I'm like, yeah, this is my time of year.
Smells like hockey.
No, nothing like it. Nothing like it in the world. Hey, look, title of the show today is NHL Waiver Day. We're going to go over that in just a little minute. A couple other stories to cover. Maybe we'll cover, maybe we don't. Ryan McDonough named the captain of the New York Rangers.
How do you feel about that?
Oh, actually, who else could possibly deserve it more? I mean, the guy has become sort of a mediocre player to a guy that has a shot at the Norris Trophy next year. So I couldn't be happier. He's a traditional defensive defenseman. Yeah, he can rock one in the net. Rock one? He's like sort of like an old Scott Stevens, Captain Scott Stevens of the New Jersey Devils, minus the size. I mean, still a pretty big boy, but look, I couldn't be happier about it. I don't want to go on about that too much because I don't think anybody wants to see me drool all over the Rangers. PK Subban. This is my favorite story of the day. He has supposedly admitted that he farts in goalies' faces and stuff to get a competitive advantage. We like Subban over here because he's playing.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
To a gassy individual such as myself, I appreciate that on a human level.
Me too. Here, I think we got some audio over here. Let me see. There we go. Actually, I used that audio when you couldn't make a joke because, that happened. We're reporting live from your toilet. PK Subban reports. And then, what's his name? Jonas Johansson? I can't believe I didn't call this up. Oh, well, what's his name? Johansson, Johnson, whatever he wants to call himself over there at the
Johansson.
Columbus Blue Jackets. They were in a chair-throwing Pier 6 brawl fist fight to sign them. Now at least one guy in the first line actually might play. But and I made a risky draft. If anybody watched the fantasy, the official Shot from the Point fantasy draft, I made a risky draft and drafted him. And of course, he got signed yesterday, and I couldn't have been happier.
Ryan Johansson.
Whatever his name is, I don't know.
3 years, $12 million for the 22-year-old leading scorer.
Nice. You want to give us a call? 718-395-7660. 718-395-7660. Let's go over the big story today. Yes. Kind of shocking in a way.
Weird more than anything else.
It's bizarre, right? It's just like Peter Budaj. That's the well. I guess there's two sort of big stories here. Peter Budaj, after being traded to the Winnipeg Jets, a guy that I thought would start. I guess I was way off. I had a Montreal fan, a French Canadian caller, call me on Sunday and say, "No, the guy's only good for like 10 games, 10, 15 games." And I'm like, really? I think Peter's good. I mean, I think the only reason he got traded because of Dustin Toharski's performance. But to make a move for him and then to dump him the very next day, it's the most obvious thing is injury. Which he's not protected from stuff like that in his contract. Was it?
I don't know. Yeah. Maybe he's a locker room cancer, and they found out early. Who knows?
The other thing, locker room. I mean, you can only speculate. What the hell's wrong? If you're a Montreal fan, happen to be listening, know anything about this guy? All I know is he knows some kung fu.
Yeah,
that's all I know. That he knows kung fu. That's all I know about Peter Budaj. I find that bizarre because I thought he might start in Winnipeg. I thought he's a damn good goalie, and Boy, this is talk about a win-win for the Montreal Canadiens to trade a pretty good goal, and get some guys back. And I mean,
and they could re-sign him if they want. They could go pick him up off the waiver wire.
I know, well, yeah, and send him to the minors because Toharski obviously got that spot.
Yeah, you never have too much goalkeeping on the bench, though. Quality goalkeeping.
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe he's not that good, though. Maybe something's wrong. Be really interesting to see in the next couple days what happens to Peter Budaj. Like I said, anybody knows anything, call me 718-395-7660. If you don't want to call me live, leave a message on my machine if you know something. Give me rumors.
I got a quick little thing I just noticed, and maybe I should have noticed it earlier.
What's that?
Brzgalov got freaking cancer.
Yeah, but I don't know. I wasn't.
Is that anything? I mean, is he still anything?
Career's over, I think.
Is it completely? Because man,
he had like a few. It's one of the things about Breeze is like he shows flashes of brilliance, and he lets go fat goals through his legs and stuff like that. It's so weird considering he was so dominant in Phoenix, and he got that big contract in Philly, and then he had this. He doesn't look like a professional goalie.
He's not the same guy anymore. He's a name. He's a name.
Weird. I only think he's like 30 or 31 too.
He's been in the league 14 years.
Has he been? So. Yeah, well, he's been in the league since he's a kid, though. I mean,
yeah, drafted 2000, second round, 44th pick by the Anaheim Ducks.
How old is he now?
For some reason, I don't see that.
This is a Scott Gomez situation. Peak late, maybe peaked late. Oh, peaked early. Excuse me. And maybe the skills are gone. I mean, I got to be honest with you, and I'm not saying that any of these players are involved in this. He's 34, by the way. 34, he should be near prime because remember goalies mature later. Yep. So 34 is not really an old goalie. It's an older player, but it's an older skater, but it's not really an old goalie.
No, not at all.
By any means. And goalies routinely could play into the late 30s, and in some cases like Martin Brodeur play into their early 40s.
He was just on a tryout contract. I mean, it's not like he had a.
Yeah. Well, I was a little surprised he was even in camp.
Yeah.
I'll be perfectly honest with you. I was surprised when he was taking selfies when he was in camp and what have you. So anyway, so Breeze got cut. I just didn't think that was much of a story. But the other one was Colton Orr, one of the best fighters in the league. Colton Orr, enforcer. That's putting it kindly. One of the toughest guys, hardest punches in the league. Now he got cut from the Toronto Maple Leafs, and I think it's totally reasonable to say that this was a move probably influenced by Kyle Dubas, because from what I understand, enforcers are not in the analytics future. Not so much because of anti-fighting. Or some of these softies that are pushing this crap, down trying to end fighting in the NHL, which will probably never totally go away. But this is possibly a way because the analytics, they're not making moral judgments, they're making math judgments, and they said that will truly be the death of the enforcer because there's
nothing there to equate.
There's no room on the ice and what have you. Oh Jesus! Now you're doing it to Cronin, you're doing it to me now.
Well, my wife just called me, and even though she should know that I'm recording, I'm not even putting it on speakerphone. I just answered it so she could hear that I'm recording. So I'm not talking to her. I can't hear what she's saying.
Hey, maybe she
should know that I'm recording.
Maybe she's calling and say she got the job.
I hope she didn't get. No, she didn't go ask yet. But no, hopefully she didn't get into a car wreck or something. She hung up.
God, you'd be moving it with me, pal.
Oh, God. Sorry about that.
You would be moving with me, pal, if that was the case. Well, just pick up the phone and go, car wreck? And if she says, I'm okay, click, That would be my move.
Car wreck? Yeah.
Car wreck? Okay.
Yeah.
But
Colton Orr.
Colton Orr.
Casualty of the non-equatable statistic.
Yeah. Non-equatable statistic that the Philadelphia Flyers didn't need and won several Stanley Cups. I've seen enforcers change the tide of the game. It's all about timing, though. I heard Sean Thornton say, I know when to fight. Like, he walked away from a fight, and he's just, I know when to fight and when not to fight. And it's like, oh, no, he's a pussy. Nah, not really, because, you can get in a pointless fight. You used to see that, not so much this year, but you see that a lot in preseason. You'd have the guy going for the top enforcer spot, so he'll fight anybody in preseason to make the team. That makes more sense. Wasn't a hell of a lot of fighting in this year's preseason.
No, I have another theory on this. Small theory. This guy's these analytics guys. They're basically, for lack of a better term, nerds. And I'm a nerd, so I could say it. It's completely okay. It's nerd on nerd crime. No, nothing wrong with that. So maybe he's just one of these goon people who are, he's adverse to goonage. I don't know.
I suppose it could be, but I mean, that's possible. But
because to a guy like that, goons have no place in the game. To a guy who's just thinking have no place in the game numbers,
for math reasons. Not so much moral reasons. That's what I'm saying. I don't know.
Exactly. Yeah, there's nothing moral about it.
Yeah,
it's the fact that the things that we've talked about in the past about the breaks in the ice, the intimidation factor, all of these things. This is part of that. So they don't value the goon because it's not equatable at all. So
you can't see it on paper.
It just goes into that intangible thing,
Yeah, you can't see it on paper, and either they're right or this is a part of the problem. The part of the problem will be you can't equate something like that. I mean, you can see it's like seeing a scoring chance. Nobody can actually say for sure what a legitimate scoring chance that didn't go in was, but we all kind of know and make judgments. We've seen sort of subjective statistics used on not so much NBC, but I remember Fox. Fox, when they had in the 90s, when they organized, they put a statistic up called scoring chances. Now these were situations where the net was either empty and the player missed, or just completely muffed it, or there was a great save. Or there was a 2-on-1 that resulted in a strong shot on goal. Those were considered scoring chances. But of course, they're not really measurable because at the end of the day, that's subjective in itself. So, I mean, I sort of expected this. I don't even know why. I should have been really smart and said that I knew that Colton Orr would get thrashed. But if all the analytics are adding up and the Toronto Maple Leafs are getting their ass pounded in the ground, and they're losing, that would be definitely an argument. It'd be interesting to see if they are this sort of arrogant group of guys, these elitist guys that are, all for the numbers, maybe morally opposed to goons or maybe mathematically opposed to enforcers. Yeah. It might, some people, what they'll do is they'll sort of, make their own prophecy come true by just whether it works or not, they have to prove their system, so to speak. Yeah. So they might ignore evidence and stick with the system, not so much out of principle, but just to hold their sort of worldview or hockey worldview together.
This guy's 32 years old. He's 6'3". He's a well-known fighter. He's going to find a job. I hope so.
I hope so. I haven't seen him lose too many fights. I mean, if anybody's in the market, I tell you something, New York Rangers. I'm not comfortable not having an enforcer, not yet. And the Rangers really haven't had we got rid of Carcillo, who's now on your team. He went down from Pittsburgh to your team. I tell you, he's a sparky plug.
I thought there was rumors that we were going to cut him.
No, I wouldn't be shocked if he got cut. I mean, he put his hands in the zebras, as Jeff Huffman said. I mean, you can't do that. No. You can't do that. Dallas penalty. No, so maybe that's the problem. Maybe he's a cancer as well. That could be a situation over there.
Maybe.
So I don't know. There you have it. Colton Orr likely cut for advanced stats reasons. I'm sure. Something tells me that's making Dave Rose completely insane, completely and totally batshit insane. I know that would drive him nuts. The other thing is, I think I have the picture right here. I'm going to open it up. I'm going to put it here, drop it in, the wonderful technology we have, and I am showing you a picture of Ryan McDonough with Vic Hatfield, Ron Greschner, and he is now, I don't think that this is news. Come on.
No, it's news, but it's also homerage.
Yeah, but I'm really good about that. Come on.
You are.
Yeah, I'm really good.
It's okay to bask in something.
This is not the New York Rangers show. No. But, it's a big deal. They're original 6 team, and, captaincy in New York has meant more than I think in other cities.
I got a question for you. Since we're on the subject, I got a question for you. Are you okay? Are you one of these people? Obviously not, but there are some people who feel that the best player on the ice should be captainage. Sometimes that holds true in other sports. What do you think of that? Because, arguably, Steve Nash is your best player.
Yeah, skill-wise, yeah. No, I don't think you're going to be surprised by my response, by the way.
No,
I don't think the most skilled player on the ice. The most skilled player on the ice, I remember when Stefan Richer was the best skilled player on the New Jersey Devils. And, he's a bit of a floater and lazy sometimes. I don't want that guy to be my captain. I don't want really, really young guys with tons of talent and no NHL experience that haven't won Stanley Cups. I want those guys under the tutorage of a leader, and all that good stuff. No, that's the way I feel about that. It should be the guy with the most experience that has a leadership capability, not just a skill, so to speak, or projected skill. Dave Rose, you're on the air.
Morning, gents. How you doing?
How are you, sir? I'm glad you got to call in.
One more sleeps, guys. One more sleeps.
What's that?
One more sleeps.
One more sleeps.
Up here in Canada.
Well, one day away until hockey season.
Oh yeah.
Even I understood that, Tommy.
Well, you live closer to Canada than I did. Well, you have to be. I don't know if you've been listening or not, Dave. The Colton ordeal. I mean, you think we're kind of right on this?
Yes, you are, and I'm really, really trying to stay calm and composed.
I told you.
Yeah, you were absolutely right, and I'm not sure if I want to go into the whole ranting on advanced stats so early in my morning. I know it's afternoon for you guys, but sure. I agree with you that this does seem to be more along the lines of cutting people due to what numbers say. And there was another, Jason Johnson, I believe, was one of the callers who called in and asked why people are so hesitant or adverse to even accepting advanced stats. And I'd like to put it this way. Both of you gentlemen served your country in Iraq. And as we know, politicians and war planners aren't very smart or aware as to what's going on the ground. So they do the same thing with their numbers and say, we're going to be greeted like liberators. We're going to be able to pay for the war. And look what we have. That's
where do you stand on the Iraq war?
Where statistics don't reflect reality. And then you've got these idiots saying, well, on paper it should have worked. I mean, look at Russia. So
well, I can't disagree with you, Dave.
Me. Sorry?
I can't disagree with you, Dave. I think you're right 100%. As far as your military comparison goes, while I'm uncomfortable with it, I don't know that it's incorrect, and I think Dave would agree with me as well.
Well,
I'm sorry, but
no, we agree with you.
We've had different experiences in wartime situations. Tommy went at a different time. I went the same time as him, but I also went earlier on.
Yeah, he went to
in 2003, and I saw a lot of shit. And so there's different views that I really don't need to get into. But yeah, I think for the most part, you're right. The people on the ground have a completely different view than those in positions of power that are just talking in boardrooms all day. You're absolutely right. Well, and yes, I call them boardrooms for a reason, because it's all corporate bullshit.
Sports is war. Sports is war. You know, and I make that comparison all the time. I know some folks aren't very comfortable with me saying stuff like that, but no, I mean, and I watched Boston Bruins training camp last summer on Inside the B. It looked like basic training to me. These guys, after their day was over, there was like, look, you guys can screw around, you can go fuck up, you can get drunk, you can do what you want, but then you're not going to be in a Boston Bruins uniform. That's the way you used to talk to me and Dave.
It's military-ish. I'll definitely say that. It's military-esque the way
military-ish.
A lot of sports programs are run, and that's okay, because it's founded on the same principles we are. It's discipline. And to be an elite athlete, you have to have that type of discipline. You have to have that type of commitment. You have to have the same type of values and belief structure that you would if you're going to serve your country freely. It's a very good analogy.
I guess it's just
It touches a raw nerve, I'm sure.
It's an excellent analogy. You're 100% correct, but I think it would make some people uncomfortable considering it's falsely considered two different things. And why it is two different things, one is a sport, it's a game, it's entertainment, and the other one's, you're literally fighting for a cause, or your buddy, or your friend, or a country, a belief system, a way of life, where it might make it seem sort of petty. But I can...
If you're taking it at the absolute literal sense, then yes.
I'm actually trying to go to the extreme to make a case, but this is perfectly exemplified in just regular corporate world. Tommy, you worked IT, you know. These people in their ivory towers look at their numbers and say, well, you're not doing enough of this, or this person is doing perfectly fine. And the person that is getting along is playing the system and not, doing what they're supposed to. It's perfectly evident in the corporate world, and it's, it's cronyism, it's
life.
delusion, and yeah, it's just really not. It's just insane.
Yeah,
well, they're taking their eye off the puck.
Yeah, I agree with you, Dave. I've worked in, I mean, you sort of have, me and Dave have had sort of corporate-esque problems, even in the military, for that matter, especially when you're in garrison and things.
Work at G6 for a while.
I mean, anybody could read that comic Dilbert, and the principles. I think that's why the Army prepares you so well for life, because they do some of the same stupid things as the corporate world and as the hockey world's doing. Getting back to Colton Orr a little bit. I know you're disappointed. I like Colton a lot. Actually, I think he's was he South African, and then I guess he grew up in Canada, became an enforcer. I value those guys. They're infantrymen to me. So I can't believe how gray my hair is getting. Can you believe that? I know.
He was born in Winnipeg.
He was born in Winnipeg. I thought he's originally from South Africa. I may have the wrong Orr.
Born in Winnipeg.
Oh, so I have that so wrong. Can you believe my hair's getting? I know I'm a self-obsessed sociopath, and I can't help it because Dr. Ryan Lampert said I was. I am getting gray. You can see it. It's just very uncomfortable for me. But
distinguished.
Yeah, that's the good thing about being a guy. The older we get in general, the better we start looking. Guys age like wine. Women age like milk. I know I'm going to get hatred on that one.
Look at that sexy bastard, Patrick Stewart.
Well,
he's like 22 years old.
He could swipe your girlfriend in a finger snap.
Yeah. Hats off to you,
swipe your
sir,
girlfriend
Patrick.
faster than you could say, "Make it so."
Well, I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry, Dave. That great player, but all we can do is the same thing the Boston Bruins had to deal with just before. All we can do is wish Colton the best and just hope that there's a place for enforcers in the future, and that that's pretty much it, bud. That's all.
I was
wondering about your future endeavors.
Yeah.
What will advanced stats do to the enforcer? You have a great point, and
it's done.
We got to see what happens.
If advanced
Let's hope it blows
stats
up in their faces.
If you can point to numbers where advanced stats work, that's it. They will die a natural death.
You made a great point. Sorry, I have to say, you made a great point the other day on In the Crease, where, like you said, if advanced stats work, they're going to work instantly.
Yeah.
You'll see that. You'll see that it's evidently valuable.
Sure. Absolutely. But the thing is, if it's not valuable, they'll say, okay, the calculation's wrong, the formula's wrong. And if it's totally wrong, they'll just keep saying, well, we just got to come up with another formula. We just got to come up with another formula.
Yeah, it's all about finding that equatable stat,
Yeah, it is. I can't believe, I think, Jimmy Johnson, I cannot believe there could be no value. It's just that he used a perfect, he goes, what's wrong with more information? Nothing. Nothing, especially when you're making decisions. I think the question or the difference that maybe me, you, Jimmy, and Dave have is what those decisions may be. And getting rid of Colton Orr is not a traditional hockey decision. He's not done. He's a young guy. He can fight.
As we said before, there's nothing wrong with having more information. But like with everything, it's what you do with the information.
Yeah.
And that's the scary thing. It's these assholes who possess that fucking sword.
Well, anybody can do the math.
Through the eye of guys like Colton Orr.
Anybody can do the math. Anybody can do the math. Anybody can look it up. It's how you interpret the math. And Kyle Dubas is supposedly the top guy on the planet when it comes to these types of things. That's what he's supposed to be.
We're gonna find out soon enough.
He's supposed to be an expert, right, Andy Sutton?
You're an expert?
Yes. Remember that old clip, Dave?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Andy Sutton.
You're an expert?
I love. Yes, I'm an expert. All right. Do we have anything else? Is anything else on your mind, Dave? Because we only got 5 minutes to go.
There's a few things, but just I was just thinking the time's limited. I don't know.
No. We don't. It's not. We don't have a huge viewer rate. We got callers busting through. We got 5 minutes.
You want me to go with something funny or something ranty?
Go with anything that you see fit.
All right. Let's go with something ranty.
Okay.
Because that's more hockey related. I know your rules. We got to keep to the hockey talk here on In the Crease.
Yes. Got to do the hockey talk. Don't want to alienate anybody. Don't want to give anybody full. I want to come in there and say, start talking about Obama. That kind of turns people off. It's like they got fooled.
Well, I think it's really cool that you offered Talvish to teach him more about hockey and stuff. And I think it's just great that you're trying to encourage other people, especially women, to just learn more about it and to enjoy it. But what I really wanted to quickly end off with is whether or not you guys have heard what's going on with Hockey Night in Canada with Ron McLean. He's been basically put to the wayside for this guy called George Stroumboulopoulos.
I know who George Stroumboulopoulos is, but they're not splitting up McLean and Cherry, right?
Not McLean and Cherry, but announcing during the game. And Stroumboulopoulos used to be a video jockey. The guy doesn't, I mean, okay, he says he knows hockey, but he's not a hockey announcer.
Yeah, sure.
And he's annoying as fuck.
Really?
I don't know if you guys have ever seen this.
I know who he is. I know who he is, and I know he's a big hockey fan. I don't know if he's a hockey man, but he's a first-class interviewer. He's tremendous. I got to be honest.
I hate his interviews.
I do. I'm totally sucked into his interviews.
He's always on the edge of his seat. He's getting too close to his guests. You see his guests back up because they're so uncomfortable.
Really?
I don't like this guy.
Really? I know
he's
a bit of he's a little maybe liberal for my taste, but I got to be honest with you. Interviews with John Cherry. God, I watched one with Stephen King that he did recently. I'm always on YouTube looking up. I can't even say the man's name. Stroumboulopoulos. I mean, we're not joking around here. That's his name.
I can see you interviewing the same way, though, creepily getting closer to your interviewee. I can see that. I see why you relate to this guy.
Yeah, but there's a difference between
I'd really like to ask you questions.
And being Stroumboulopoulos. Stroumboulopoulos can't sit still. He's like a little chipmunk on speed.
You never watch me, and you listen to me.
We're a bunch of bastards on this show.
Yeah, but you guys are enjoyable to listen to.
Yeah,
like
I guess so.
Tommy said, this guy's a little liberal leaning.
Yeah, he's liberal leaning. I can
he's
tolerate
basically
that.
Canada's Bill Maher, but if he was,
oh God,
he's not that obnoxious.
No, he's not that obnoxious, but he's kind of like, yeah, let's give peace a try. And
well, you know what? I think one of my problems with government-run media is everybody will end up being a liberal or a conservative, depending on who gets on the ground floor first. I think any democracy should absolutely any kind of broadcasting should be 100% private. There should be no broadcasting outside the military communications. I don't like the fact when any government, including the CBC, what's the one in the BBC, I think it's outrageous that they have their finger in that. And they say, well, we have laws where you can have equal time. Bullshit. That's subjective. Here's how to keep government out of your airwaves. I know you guys had it forever, but it's just, as an American, I find that very bizarre. And you could always say, oh, yeah, well, you guys have PBS. Yeah, but nobody watches it, so nobody cares. People have to watch the BBC.
We have stations that are designed to target certain demographics of liberals and conservatives. We give you a taster's choice of options.
Yeah, but they don't. Here's the best way to get a taster's choice. Have somebody start a liberal network privately and a conservative network. All right. I think we're getting a little too much on politics and stuff. But I do appreciate your call. Strombel. Actually, I'm just going to end the show with you, Dave. I'm just going to keep you online because I might talk to you afterwards. I
got a question for Dave real quick.
I always got time for Tommy.
Okay.
Hit me, Dave.
All right. Now I got a question for you. Have you checked out my incredible video on my first prediction of the year?
Didn't you just post that early this morning, I think?
Yeah.
Yes,
in fact, Dave, I got it queued.
But a real fan would have watched it already.
Oh, wait, Dave, I got it queued. You want to watch it together?
Oh.
Here we go. Here's Dead on Dave. Oh, that's not it. Sorry. Wednesday's games.
Good job.
Ah, Jesus Christmas. I didn't save this? That's terrible.
You're so fine.
All right, I'm getting it up. We're gonna listen to this together.
You're giving
Dave
it
Rose
up.
is here. We're gonna make this. Now this is happening. Trust me.
Dave, get those fucking toys off your table.
They're wonderful.
Hold on.
At least put little jerseys on them.
Oh,
I got a jersey behind me. That's enough.
Oh, God, that's funny. Get those fucking toys off the table.
Jealousy. You hear the jealousy? I hear the
You know what they do? They do that in the States now, though, Dave. They have all these guys, and they have toys on their table. That's sort of the reason I told them to go with it, because when I went home to the States, everybody's got toys in their table. I don't understand that.
Told me? You would have had to pry these out of my dead fucking kung fu grip. These weren't coming off the table. If they go, Dave goes.
Here we go. I think I almost got this thing queued. I definitely wanted to have extra time just to cue this, because I made it. Oh, here we go. It's coming. Here it is. Wrong thing again. God
Wednesday Night Rivalries Lock of the Week.
Wednesday Night Rivalries Lock of the Week, the first Dave episode. And here we go.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Dead on Dave here, Shot from the Point's very own, and most of you have probably gotten to know me a little bit by now. You may not recognize me because I stuffed myself into my 15-year-old Chicago Blackhawks jersey. Why did I do it? I did it for you. Here's something else you may not know. I'm a compulsive gambler. It's kind of why I'm living in a basement, one of the many reasons. So why am I here today? That's probably the biggest question you're asking. Real simple. It's because you just tuned into Wednesday Night Rivalry's Lock of the Week. That's right. That's where I tell you who's going to win the Wednesday Night Rivalry game. And this week, we got a barn burner, baby. It's the game of the year. Philadelphia, Boston. It's the game of the year until next week. So who's going to win? In these early matchups, it's so hard to really say. They're just coming off of preseason. Everyone's getting their footing underneath them. So what dictates a winner in games like this? Well, it's real easy. It's who has the best player on the ice. And who has the best player on the ice? Philadelphia, Claude Giroux. The best player on the ice in this game. And that's going to be the X factor. That's what's going to determine the win. And that's going to be the reason why Philadelphia beats Boston. Now I know what you're thinking. Hey, asshole, what if you're wrong? Real simple. I'm not one of these jerks that come on here and tell you, oh, I'm a right. I don't know what the hell kind of accent that was, but it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
If I'm wrong, I will take a punch to the face.
Punch to the face?
That's right.
Punch to the face.
That's how confident I am. A punch to the face. Wednesday night, 7:30, Philadelphia, Boston. Philly wins. Claude Giroux, hat trick, first game. That's right, hat trick. That's what's going down.
Bold.
And if I'm wrong, punch to the face. I'm out. Check out Shot from the Point. And if you want to see anything else from me, follow me on Twitter at DeadOnDaveV. Peace, hockey fucks.
Tune in every week for Wednesday Night Rivalry Walk of the Week. That's right, Dead on Dave is never wrong about anything about hockey or anything else. Dead on Dave is Rivalry Walk of the Week. Let's tune in, subscribe, and like. You hear that? So what do you think, Dave?
Interesting. Who's going to do the punching?
Listen, if you want to make some cash, Dave is not. He actually went. He picked 100 games last year. He went 100-0. He doesn't get it wrong.
No, I don't miss.
He does never miss. That's why we call him Dead on Dave. It's
Dead on Dave.
It's
I've only had sex once in my life, and I got a 9-year-old. Figure that shit out. I don't miss.
It's uncanny, Dave Rose.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing this then.
See Wednesday. I don't know.
Yeah,
you
seeing
guys
it play out the way Dave's saying.
It's gonna it's scary. See, I'm gonna make a bunch of money this weekend, and I encourage everybody else out there to do it as well. I mean, I would be completely comfortable. I don't have a lot of money saved up, but putting my child's college fund on it, I don't see any problem with that whatsoever.
Why wouldn't you?
No,
I mean, come on. This is
Dead on Dave prediction.
Stone.
He doesn't do them every night. He doesn't confuse himself. He goes into he makes formulas up and he comes up there. It's like Kyle Dubas calls him up and ask him what's going on sometimes.
For a fat guy in Germany, I have a stunning amount of contacts in the NHL. So
get your ass to Toronto.
All right, Davey. Hey, listen, would you want to hang on offline because I think I'm gonna end this right now. We had a lot of fun, and it's time to. Oh, that was a little too loud. I was thinking I had it right to begin with. All right, let me do. Actually, Wednesday night's games. It's coming. I'm coming to Montreal versus Toronto Maple Leafs, an old school original six rivalry. 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Philadelphia and Boston. 7:30 for the Wednesday night rivalry. Dead on Dave, and Dead on Dave's lock of the week is Philly over Boston with a butt-grabbing Claude Giroux hat trick. 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Vancouver, Calgary. That sounds like a snore. And, of course, San Jose will get their ass kicked the first time this year by the Los Angeles Kings. There's my Dead on Douche lock right there. The other story is Peter Budai. He goes to Winnipeg, and then they waive him. That's funny. What do I got over here? I really need a better way to read this stuff. Ryan McDonough, he's captain of the New York Rangers. Congratulations. And the Johansson over in, oh, fuck it. I'm tongue-tied. Johansson over there in fucking Columbus. They shouldn't even have a fucking hockey team for all I care. All right, goodbye from Dead on Dave and Dave Rose. We'll see you tomorrow at 2 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Little Morning Ice in the crease. I'm safe. Peace.